Recording in progress.
Hari Om Ji, welcome to the class. No. Yes. Let's start the class. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we are seeing chapter 4 and we are having shown us in chapter 4 what is the invisible, I'll call it invisible, for Adrashtam. The invisible hand, principle, law, which balances righteous and unrighteousness on the planet, on earth, for the simple reason that unrighteousness, only human beings have the privilege, I would say, to indulge in. No other life form can be unrighteous. They cannot be adharmic. Human beings have this privilege to be adharmic. which means they can follow dharma or they need not follow dharma. If they do not follow dharma, by default, they will be following adharma. What is dharma? From a samashti viewpoint, from a totality viewpoint, dharma is for each one a duty that you have to uphold, which is in the interest of your society and beings around you. While you're born, while you are alive, there is a certain responsibility that every human being has towards those who are uh, dependent on the faculties and the gifts that human upadhis have received. What are the gifts of human upadhi? We have received it in creation. By calling ourselves intelligent beings or cheftor of creation, it doesn't work. Why are we that? We have this gifted faculty of choice making, of buddhi, which can travel into realms unknown, unperceived, non perceivable, but logically inferable. So we have a faculty which can make the dots and dashes complete in creation. We can question and we can also come to answers. We can delve into exploring what is around us and what we do not know. As a result of this, we seem to be the central figure which on whom the life of a whole lot of creation depends, really speaking. Whether we accept it or not, we are obviously not accepting it. Otherwise, life would have been very beautiful on this planet. What are we? We are utilizing our gifts, but we are abusing it. So, what is dharma? It's an understanding. It is an understanding of each one's role while we are alive here. We need to also contribute back, or with our faculties, do something for those that are all dependent on human beings. All life forms are dependent on human beings. As we saw in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad quotation that we saw in the last verse, just as for human beings, Pashu are. Pashu is animals that we domesticate for our use. We farm them. We are constantly um, taming them. We tame a lot of animal force. For what reason we tame them? We tame them to serve us. We tame buffaloes, cows, sheep, dogs, cats, horses, and many more. We even tame dolphins for our entertainment. We tame a lot of animals. That's our capacity. But we tame them because they are beneficial to us. They serve us. They ease our labor. They ease our hard work. They ease for us a lot of struggle. As a result of which, they depend on us. We tame them, so they depend on us for their survival, for their well-being, for taking care of them. Exactly the same way, Bhagwan says, because human beings have this privilege of avoiding doing what they ought to be doing, they sometimes, because they do not know, or consciously also, deliberately also, egoistically also, we skip doing laziness also, We skip doing what we owe to those who are dependent on us, other life forms. As a result of which, over a period of time, if more and more people skip taking care of others, then there is an imbalance in creation. That imbalance, Bhagwan says, has a lot of repercussions. Our physical eyes may not recognize them, but the repercussions are momentous and they are in totality as well. One generation doesn't do its work for sustaining the well being of creation. By the third generation of life here, whether they are your children or not, doesn't matter. Whether you are recycled back and brought back doesn't matter. But by third generation, the deterioration would be so evident that you will not be able to trace back easily. And as a result of which, those few who would prefer to continue doing what they should be doing, they also find it difficult because the societal harmony and balance, even availability of resources that allow them to do dharmic karmas starts to drop. Like, for example, every household just before independence, even after independence, for some years, every household would do the Nitya Karma. To do the Nitya Karma, you would need a space, open, compound. So, all our homes, if you look at our ancestral homes, they all had open compounds, front, back, or in the right direction, whatever the direction supposed to be. You had your Tulsi Kunda out, you had a lot of these facilities which allowed us to do our Panch Mahayajnas. We had this place outside the home in, and just before you enter the home you would have place where you would keep food for cows, and whatever's your, it would get recycled. The concept of recycling was extremely connected to us, as I can only represent ourselves in our culture. It was extremely integrated in life. There was nothing wasted, everything was recycled. The idea was, it's not recycling the way we understand now. It was connected to our dharma, our responsibility, our duty. Use any word you like, they're all interchangeable and all mean the same. Our duty to others as well. That is how it was easy to conduct this. You had uh, available things for your yajnas, for your karmas, in shops nearby, etc. But slowly, slowly, less and less people do this. More and more people avoid doing it, as a result of which you have a decline that sets in. So Bhagwan said in the fourth chapter, every time this happens in creation, it's nothing unusual happening to us in our time. In fact, we are still in a very good time in creation. Kali Yuga isn't spread so much yet, and we still have a huge lot of people where revival is still possible by human purusharth. If a group of people decide to revive any of our cultural dharmic elements, dharmic actions, karmas, you find that it starts to get connected. More and more people start joining, and more people, it starts spreading, and very soon it is revived to certain extent. But srishti means maintenance. That means, okay, it's revived now, but again, 2 generations down, it's going to decline. That time again, you would need, etc. This is how creation is to be understood. It's nothing unusual or great, or it's just a principle and a law that Bhagwan says, I come only when human purusharth is not going to be able to revive dharma back. For that reason, he says, I am calling it the invisible hand of protection, invisible hand of nurturing. There is this invisible to our eyes, but it is there. operating. Just as in our modern science, gravity is invisible to the eyes, but it is operating. In the same way, Ishvara's niyamas is what controls the creation. He is the one um, who has the reins in his hand, as if who sets forth this time, wheel of time and space and causation. This wheel of time, space, causation that most of us only find ourselves as a part of it. He says, I come again and again. So that avatara rahasya, he was able to, he's conveyed it to us well enough. And then he had said that I am the one who's created this sense of karma and its division of labor, division of work to sustain creation. Everybody cannot do everything. I have created this vibhag of gunas and karmas according to, it's a vicious circle. According to your karmas, you have your gunas. According to your gunas, you do your karmas. What came first, irrespective, the seed of it is avidya. Atma avidya is the seed, and did karma come first or guna come first? It is adhyasa, atma adhyasa, which brings forth this cycle of karma and uh, based on gunas. So he said, Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishta. This is, I have created this. And whoever here in this creation, even though we only see the physical world around us, he says, my world, my creation, my jagat, my cosmos has lokas that you are not perceiving at the moment. So he says, there are, according to your karmas and the taratamya means gradation of our karmas. We have, we are all staying wherever we are staying because of karma phal. Physically, you are in time and space because of your own fruits of action. He says that gradation is what brings devtas their life, which brings danav their life, which gives humans their life. The upadhi in which you find yourself is accordingly. But just as we treat the pashu, we treat the animals, so too for devtas we are their pashus. So what happens? He says, a lot of stories you find in Puranas where if any of the sincere students or seeker, mumukshu, if any of mumukshu wants liberation, you find these, if you were offering to devtas before praying, rituals, doing whatever, and you have obstacles in your path preventing you from Atmavidya. That's how the stories are, just to convey to us that the force of creation to sustain itself is tremendous. You feed the devtas take care of you. It's just a way of telling us, it's not just a way, it's a way of telling us that there is an interdependence not just over here in the human world. There are interdependencies with other life beings which we are not cognizing, but Vedas is the only praman for it. Through Vedas only we can get to know it. And should you call them as speculation or belief, that's up to your Shraddha, what you want to take it as. But those who have Shraddha, he says, they worship these gods, asking them all kinds of favors and fruits, because just as your Pashu serves you, and you will also give your Pashu something back, in the same way, you are serving your Devata by every day giving ahuti to Devata and worshipping him, remembering him, you are nourishing him, pushed karte ho usko by offering whatever you are offering with your physical action and your bhavana both put together. He says, Shipram Manushe Loke. They bless you with fruits very quickly. As a result of which, most people only being interested in fruits are content worshipping these devtas. So sakamata does not leave quickly. One doesn't grow out of sakamata. One is dependent on the devatas for helping them in creation, and that sakamata is something that they get used to. It's in their nature. That's how they are built. Means that's how they are made now. Sakamata is their bhav. But he says, if there is someone who is interested in knowing me, Krishna says, means in knowing the Devata itself, where does the Devata get the power? Is Devata absolute? Even that question is enough for one to start delving into Nishkam Bhav. He says, those who are jignasus, to them I give them Gyan of Nishkama Karma. The same karmas change the bhav. And this knowledge is priceless. It's the rarest gift to any living being. It's this upadhi. What can you receive in this upadhi as a human being? Any human being can receive it. What is a human being's upadhi capable of receiving? Because till we have received how to do karmas, nishkam bhav, the gati, urdhva gati, upward gati, cannot be initiated. We are by default all oriented only out of avidya into karma and karma, but to get freed of that cycle, the the key is that you have to change the way you do the karma. Same karma, but you have to change the way you do it. And change the way you do it is not an external change, it is an internal change. And what should that internal change be? I am already oriented working in a particular way, out of avidya, out of my own gunas. I am natural to act in a particular way. To change that natural act, Vidya is the only thing that can show me that there is another way to do it. I hope this is conveyable. It's not very difficult, it's very simple. Vidya is the only way which can tell me how to convert it, how to change my action, how to change my attitude, how to change my bhav, how do I do this action differently. इस कर्म को मैं और कैसे कर सकती हूँ, किस तरीके से कर सकती हूँ, और क्या बदल सकती हूँ मैं, कर्म को बदले बिना मैं क्या बदलूं. Fantastic. I have always said there's one example that always strikes me. I cannot, it was an actual example. You go to a restaurant and you have the servers and the cleaners, different grades. So whoever's sat on the table before you, then the cleaner cleans the table and then you sit. One person we found at one point, what an attitude in cleaning the table. It stuck me. I'm talking about 15 years ago, probably. But that example and that expression on that face, I cannot forget. How beautiful was that action to just, and he was just a very young boy, and that's it. He was just a cleaner in a restaurant. And what did he, the way he cleaned the table, I was instantly reminded of Krishna outside the yagna, picking up chappals and wiping them before he put them. As a result of which, what had happened? Everyone who had come for that yagna that the Pandavas had, what was it, Rajasuya yagna or something that they were going to do, and Krishna said, "I'll be your Dwarpal. No, I'll be your chappal stand keeper. What is he called? What was he called over there?" He says, "I'll be that. I'll take care of your shoe stand, all of them." The way he was doing it, everyone just stood there. They didn't go inside. The Pandavas had to come outside. It's gone. Murat nikal gaya. Where is everybody? And then they find that everyone's looking at Krishna the way he was doing his. He was receiving the chappals from everyone, the way he was, whatever, cleaning and whatever he was doing, it was so pleasant to look at, even to look at. It would inspire anybody to change the way you can do an action. That is why it was said to us in the previous verses, for those who are jnanis, and Krishna is going to tell Arjuna all over again, reminding him, keeps reminding, if you're not a jnani, I have taught you this निष्काम भाव. ये ज्ञान पता चल के ही आप कर बदल सकते हो. अपने आप से आपको नहीं पता चलता है कि क्या बदलना है, कैसे बदलना है. But the minute you are educated upon it, the minute you get knowledge of it, you have a choice available. That choice that you now have, you have a choice to act on it or not to act on it. It's up to you. But at least now you know. So he says, by doing this nishkam bhav that I have given knowledge of to others, to everyone who is a jignasu, to him I give this knowledge of how to. And then in time, if he's a sincere jignasu and not just like initial and then shoot your interest and has gone into this just because you didn't find answers or you didn't find instant results like devtas give you. Nishkam bhav ka result doesn't come how devtas give you. He said, Shipram hai devtaon ka phal dena. Magar nishkam bhav ka phal doesn't come easily, doesn't come quickly, doesn't come spontaneous, fatafat. It doesn't come quickly. Why? Because निष्काम का फल सिर्फ शुद्धि है. अब ये शुद्धि क्या है? अंतकरण शुद्धि. We use this word, I think there is no class which cannot go without two words, antakaran shuddhi and atma. These two words, without that it's impossible to convey anything in Vedanta. Though without antakarana shuddhi, Vedanta is actually conveyable because this is an adhikari bheda. Vedanta starts only on a shuddha manaha. So there is no responsibility of any teacher to give us knowledge about atma antakarana shuddhi. Because Vedanta ka topic is Brahma Gyan, presuming that you already have Shuddhi. But we have the Anugraha of our Acharyas in the past, of these Shastras that they have left for us. This Shastra will then tell us how to get that Shuddhi. Because our minds are chanchal, our minds are attached, our minds have ragdvesh, our minds have ahankar, our minds are attached to results, our minds are has all the aberrations like fear and insecurities. जो स्वाभाविक होता है वो सब है. उससे शुद्धि. What is shuddhi? Itself we struggle to understand. What is Atma Chitta Shuddhi? He says, by Nishkam Karma, you get Chitta Shuddhi. That is an effect. आपका कर्म क्या है? What are you supposed to do? You are supposed to do whatever you are doing as without wanting a result from it for yourself and doing it with a sense of offering to totality, to Ishwar, to higher, as a duty, obligatory. Once you do that, he says, your antakarnam will find the change. You will find, you cannot create Shuddhi. I can create physical action because I have organs of action. But can I create Shuddhi? I can't create Shuddhi directly. I can do things that lead to bring Shuddhi. The Shuddhi is an effect. How do you know you have Antakarna Shuddhi? What is that saying? You know it when you know it. You know that you know, and you know that you do not know. Today, what do you know? Did someone tell you that you have ragadvesh? Does someone tell you that you have jealousy? Does someone tell you that you are attached? Does someone tell you that you are suffering? Does someone have to tell you that you are angry? You know it. Does someone have to tell you, listen, you are angry? And then you say, oh, I'm angry. Oh my God, I'm angry. I didn't realize I'm angry. Does it work like that? When you are angry, you know you are angry. When you are irritated, you know you are irritated. When you are attached, you know you are attached, etc. Attached in the sense of not a healthy attachment, but an unhealthy attachment. Obsessiveness in that sense. In the same way, Shuddhi is also like that. When I have Shuddhi, you know I have Shuddhi. What is its Lakshana is all that these acharyas can tell us. The Lakshanas of Shuddha, Antakarna Shuddha is that Antakarna is natural in the values that Shastra tells us to practice in Avidya. One who has Antakarna Shuddhi knows it because when he say reads, like say Ramana Maharishi, he didn't have to read Vedantic literature in this lifetime at least to do Nididhyasa, to do Dhyanam. The minute he started his inquiry on who I am, just sheer inquiry on who is me, I, कौन है ये, उनकी इंक्वायरी का प्रश्न शायद हम समझ भी नहीं सकते पूरा. We'll only struggle to identify what must be his, because if only we know the question, maybe we can also, but we will never be able to unless and until that Antakarna Shuddhi we also have. Then we will also know what he said, what he thought, what he inquired upon. Today we are struggling to inquire upon few little things. So what is the idea that I'm saying? When you have Shuddhi, you know you have Shuddhi because your values that Shastra says. So as in the case of Ramana, he didn't have to read it. But when he read it, he knew exactly what the Shastra was saying. He knew what was Brahman, what is Atman. He knew the whole process. In fact, it was easy for him to convey. And you know when something is conveyed from experience and when something is conveyed from the book. There are two different conveying. When something is conveyed from the experience, even if someone doesn't have the book and the knowledge, it will drive home to the person. The knowledge, the communication drives home. But when you convey from the book, then the person also must have the book and must also be as equipped to read and things, and then they will know what is in the book. But it is only what is in the book. But what is in experience? What is in your experience? Are you this jiva? Are you this form? Are you this name? Who are you? For Ramana, he did not need all this, at least in this lifetime. We acharyas, those acharyas are very, we all accept that maybe in some lifetime he has gone through all this. But once you've gone through it, the reflection can only happen when there is Shuddhi. So he says, for those who are jignasus, I give them this nishkam bhav gyan. जिसको जब जैसे whenever in your capacity, to your interest, whoever will, to whatever extent, it's a carry forward then. What effort you put in this lifetime for your Shuddhi, for Nishkam Karma rather, it continues. If it's left, as I said in one of the classes, अगर कर्म की सिद्धि नहीं होती तो वो जब तक सिद्धि नहीं होती वो कर्म इनकम्प्लीट है, वो फल नहीं दे सकता. कर्म की सिद्धि होने पर ही फल व्यक्त हो सकता है. Only when the karma is accomplished, completed, can it now have the capacity to yield a result? If a karma is left incomplete, unaccomplished, it cannot give a result. Any karma. Therefore, he says, therefore, Krishna says that I give to him, the Jignasu, this priceless, I call it priceless. Iske bina mushkil hai. Bhatakna, bhatkan is also a real experience. For those who do not know what Atma Vidya is, you cannot understand what is called bhatkan. And looking for security, looking for pleasure, looking for anything. It's like saying if it's raining outside and you're looking for a little leaf, not even a branch, you're looking for a leaf to protect you from rain. That's what we do in creation. That little thing in Sakamata, wanting to protect ourselves, wanting to secure ourselves, wanting to get some happiness here, is literally asking for a protection from a leaf, protect us from rain. That's how we generally live our life. He says, Nishkam Bhav. Once you have come to Nishkam Bhav, you've started coming to me, he says. You are now approaching me. Others are also approaching me. They do not know that I am the one who is giving the fruits. They think devtas are giving, so they keep worshipping or seeking the devta. The limited goals. Let me replace devta for those who do not believe in all this. Doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Replace it with your limited goal and you'll understand everything. If you say devtas only mean limited goals, I seek limited goals. Those limited goals are represented by the devtas. That's it. You worship devtas without knowing that they are limited goals. You are worshipping them as name and form, but you are worshipping the end, what they represent. Am I making sense today?
Deepti, just a small question. So when you are doing it in Nishkam Bhav, you are only replenishing the devtas, right?
In Nishkam Bhav, you're not.
So you're not going to replenish the devtas if you are doing it without any end in mind or any wish in mind.
Sorry, ask again. I didn't understand what you're saying.
So if you're
I can't hear you
praying to a
actually. Can you be a
devta,
little louder?
if you're praying to a devta without having any wish, right? Nishkam Bhav. So are you replenishing them?
Are you what?
Replenishing them for sustaining this Shrishti?
Replenishing them.
Yeah, I mean, are you, so it's like a replenishment, right? I mean, if you're praying to Sun God without any wish in mind, but you're just praying to Him as a gratitude to say that, thank you, you come and, everything works because of you. So is it like you are replenishing the God or you are not?
You are.
Okay.
So we can say that you're just getting chitta shuddhi with that.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So that's the karma with which you will get the chitta shuddhi.
And that man, you said you come to know that you're getting chitta shuddhi. How do you come to know it? How does it like? How did you come to know? I mean,
Exactly.
Did your thoughts change?
What did I say? How do you know that you're angry?
You're a witness to that. It's a feeling that you get.
You know what is anger and you know you're angry. Nobody tells you you're angry. If you're irritated, especially, you know you're irritated. You know all your bhav, no? When someone says, this is anger, you know this was anger here. In the same way, the values that are stated throughout the Shastra, when you hear them, you identify within. You know that you have it. There is no how to it, because that's why it's an effect. Knowledge, you cannot know how do I know. I know that I know. How do I know I know ABCD? I know ABCD because when I'm told ABCD, I know that I also know ABCD. In the same way, the values that are thrown through the Shastras, not only values, Atma Vidya, when it is spoken of in the Shastra, the way you will understand the portion will be different. It will be more subjective. It will be more subjective in the sense it will be more aparoksh. It will be immediate, recognizable by you. That's why I gave the example of Ramana Maharishi. So if you hear about the Atma being Advitiyam, Atma being Nityam, Atma being Shashvatam, the way you perceive that knowledge, the one who has Shuddhi can see it as is said in the they'll recognize it immediately. हाँ ये है इसका मतलब. Whereas when it is said from the book, then it's still a knowledge which is outside. It's not a Shuddhanta Karanam. So your receipt of that knowledge will depend on the book. But when it's given from the experience, the same knowledge, the one who has Shuddhi will also recognize the experience. Because what is Vedanta talking about? It's not giving us knowledge about something, it is giving the knowledge of what is already existent. जो already है. That existent knowledge is what it's giving. So, to the extent I have Chitta Shuddhi, when I hear the existent knowledge, I identify it. I know it. That's the process of how one knows it. I don't understand the question. Are you okay, Divya?
Ji.
Okay. I haven't understood, Bhavna, what you're asking. Okay, everyone. So till she asks, was it making so far okay?
Yes, Diptiji.
Okay. So then we move forward now, move ahead. So he says, I have created the karma, I have created the world. So then the question is, if you have created the world, then you must be the karta. करने वाला ही तो करता होता है. So if you have created the world, then you are the karta of the world. And if you are the karta of the world, then karta will get bhoktapan also, will have to take the results of the karma. जो करेगा उसी को मिलेगा, वही भोगेगा. So only the karta will also have the bhoktritva. So you are not Sarvagnya, you are not Nitya, you are not Ishwar, because you are the karta. You are like us, maybe a little more grander than us, maybe a little more uh, If Artha and Artharthis are seeking Lord Himself and not seeking the other deities, so then what is the question? What happens to them then? So, what happens to them? Bhagwan will protect you to the extent you want the fruits. Anyway, Bhagwan is giving fruits, whether you worship God or not. Any devta, it will be Bhagwan. So, whatever you want, He will say Tathastu. But because you are asking from Him straight away, the chances are that you are quicker on the path of Nishkam Bhav. Chances are you'll be quicker on that journey because Bhagwan will also, you are his devotee then. So Bhagwan will over there protect you. But like Arjun, you will also have an access. He will help you come to the path quicker if you seek fruits from Him straight away. So there'll be gradations over there. I hope that answers. I mean, that's clear to you. Okay. In the meantime, I'll continue with this. Where am I? Oh, I'm open the wrong page. Huh. So now he says, even though karmanam kartaram manyase, even if you see me, if you think I've done the karmas, paramarthically, essentially, I'm not a karta. Even if I've done, I've not done. Even if I have created the Chaturvarnyam, I am still not a karta, because I do not identify. जुड़ता नहीं हूं मैं. The right word is that. Identify can have a lot of meanings and interpretations. The Hindi word judana is right. I do not get united, yukt. I do not get yukt to my own upadhi, which does the work of creation. I'll repeat this. He says, though I'm seen to be the karta, मैंने ही किया है चातुर्वर्ण्यम, I have created the creation, yet I do not become the karta. Why? Because you become the karta only when you are joined with the upadhi, when you are yoked to the upadhi, when you have identified, चिपक गए हो, आप उपाधि के साथ लिप्त हो गए हो. ये मैं हूं और उसमें कोई फर्क नहीं है. I am this body. I am this person. So in your cognition, it is one. He says, I do not become united to the very upadhi, which is Maya upadhi, which has brought about the creation. I do not get yoked to it. मैं identify नहीं करता, मैं चिपकता नहीं. Namam karmani limpanti. So he says, I remain akarta eva aham. I'm sorry, I went back. 14.0 I'm doing. Yesham tu karmanam kartaram manyase. Those, even if I am seen to be the karta of these actions, those who think that I am the karta of these actions, paramarthically, akarta eva aham. I remain akarta because yataha namam karmani limpanti. Name karma phale spriha iti mam yo bhi janati karma bhihi nasa badhyate. He says, karmani means all karmas. Mam, mujhko, to me. Na limpanti, they do not smear me. Lep lagana is limpan. Lep lagana is the literal meaning. Lep lagana means they do not smear me. Karmas do not affect me, is a very casual way of saying it. They do not taint me. They do not smear me. Karmas do not touch me. Karmas, I do, but karmas have no effect on me. I can do, but I am not affected by the karmas. Why? The reason is na spriha. I have no spriha. Spriha means I have no uh, lagav, fondness. I have no yearning. I have no attachment. I have no desire. Spriha. Spriha also has a meaning of touching. Sparsh जैसे करता है. So limpanti means that lep lagana. Or when you do your moisturizers and things, what is this? When you rub the creams and this is lep lagana. Means they come and touch you. They come and affect you. उसके साथ जुड़ जाता है. Spriha is also touch करना, but with a yearning, mental touch, as if जुड़ने की इच्छा. किससे? With what? Karma phal, in karma phal, in karma, in results. I have no spriha. Because I have no spriha, you can reverse the sentence. Because I have no karma phal spriha, so therefore the karmas do not smear me. The karmas do not taint me. Because I have no yearning for the result, I am also not bound by the karma. What is the bondage of karma? The bondage is only through the result that I have to go through. But I have no spriha. Therefore, I am also not touched by the karma. Iti mam yaha abhijanati. Whoever abhijanati knows me, mam, mujhko, in this manner that I do the karmas, but they do not affect me. I have no yearning for the result. In this way, whoever knows me, saha, they also, yaha abhijanati, saha, api, karma bhihi, by the karmas, due to the karmas, as a result, as the karmas, na badhyate, उनको भी कर्म नहीं बांधता. He says, I am free of the karma. I have no spriha, so the karmas don't bind me. Whoever knows me as this also, they also karmas don't bind them. That's the actual Moolam verse. So far, okay? Any question?
But he has love for us.
This is Karma Yoga, right?
Yeah, it is. He has what for us? Love for us.
Love for us. For the creation that he has created, the human beings that he has created.
That is our interpretation.
Okay.
For him, there is no creation paramarthically. Essentially, for him, there is no creation.
Okay.
And from the standpoint of creation, he says, I'm non-separate from you. So from that standpoint, yes, because he and his creation and all his beings are one with him, just as my 5 fingers are one with me, I don't have any bhed buddhi for my 5 fingers. In that sense, he also has the same bhav for everything.
Right.
Because we are non-separate. His creation is non-separate from him.
Yeah.
So
that thou art,
he
that's
himself,
the feeling.
exactly. So he himself inheres all the beings. So just as to my body, I inhere, and I have no bhed buddhi with reference to different parts of my body, so too he also doesn't have any bhed buddhi with reference to the creation. But essentially for him, if you say he has love for us, then there will be taratamyam again. That's exactly the point that we have been taking in the last few verses.
Right, right.
Because then there'll be preference you will show. जो आपकी अर्चना करते हैं, you will have more love for them.
Correct. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
So he says in this manner they also do not get bound. How do they not get bound? A little bit of this bhashyam will help us understand, because it's a moolam verse. Moolam is complete in itself. Those who know me will also not get bound by their karmas. Namam tani karmani limpanti. He says those karmas do not smear me. And what do we mean by limpanti? He says karmas, when they have an effect on you, when you are bound by karmas, they are the ones that become deha adi arambhakatvena. They become the cause of the origin of a body. Karma limpanti means कर्मों का लेप लग गया, मतलब they become the cause of the body, of a new body. That is what we mean by कर्मों का लेप होना. Because only then will you have कर्म फल का भोगने का chance. I'll repeat this in case. What does he mean by? Because it's uh, a very ambiguous statement to say those who know me like this also are not bound. How do they know me? That karmas do not taint me. Why do they not taint me? Because I have no spriha for phal. I have no yearning for karma phal. And this is subtle. That's explained here. What is karmo ka lep? When karmas आपसे जुड़ चुके हैं, आपके खाते में डल चुके हैं, कर्म जब आपसे जुड़ चुके हैं, जब आपने कर्म किया तो कर्म चिपक गए आपसे. How do you put this exactly? कर्म आपसे जुड़ गए. आप जहां जहां जाओगे आपके कर्म आपके साथ होंगे. That's another way of saying it. Understand this separately. कर्मों का जुड़ना क्या होता है? That's why they say, out of context I'm saying, but to complete, it will help us understand. Vedas completely condemn, look down upon any action like a suicide. It doesn't say that people can't be helpless. There are situations where things become so difficult for someone. But one warning that Vedas, Shastra gives to us is never ever do this action. Never. By doing that, we think we are ending this life. But हुआ क्या है? कर्म तो आपसे चिपका हुआ है. आप इस देह का अंत कर भी दोगे तो नया देह, उसी कर्म से नया देह बनेगा. That is called कर्मों का लेप. So by you thinking I'm ending a life of this difficult life of struggle and I can't find a way out, I can't find a solution to this, etc. Whatever you may think, and it's not that it is not, it's real for them, those who go through that suffering. Accept it, even then. Take help from Ishwar, take help from people, do whatever you have to, but never resort to that. Why? It comes from this fundamental piece of knowledge, and the knowledge is you are the one who is the bearer of your fruit of action. कर्म आपसे चिपका है. I'm coming with an example, but it's fading away. You know how, okay, let me put it this way. A pink rose, a petal falls in your balcony. A pink rose petal falls in your balcony. Can the pinkness be taken separately from the petal? Can you separate the pinkness from the petal? इसको कहते हैं लेप लगना. उसके साथ ही है वो, सेपरेट नहीं कर सकते आप. In other, so the karmas that we have generated, उनको हम चाह के भी अलग नहीं कर सकते अपने से. वो हमारे से जुड़े हुए हैं, हमारे अंतःकरण में. In our subtle body, our karmas हमारे साथ ही रहेंगे. Even if I end the body, they are the ones which will bring up another body. Same karmas will bring up another body, and now this action of suicide will also get added. So you have complicated it even further. You have made your life even more difficult in the future. So he says, my whole creation that I have created cannot be taken as mujhse chipak gaye, means I will have to pay the price of this creation that I have started. और यहाँ पे तो क्या क्या नहीं होता. That means I am the one who is going to go through all that. He says no. Karmo ka, this is the first part and it's very important. Karma is the reason, और वो आपका चिपका है. लिम्पंती word you have to open up in your mind. Lep lagana, that's why I said lep is easy to understand. You know how you, in the olden days, घर के आगे अपने cow dung का लगाते. They used to use cow dung. Even now in villages they do that. उसको कहते हैं लेप लगाना. लिम्पंती is a plural usage. लेप लगना, smearing it. I want to point this. I'm doing only the first half. कर्मों का लेप लगता है. कब लगता है is the answer here given now. I'll come to that later. First, understand only this much. हमारे कर्म हमारे साथ जुड़ते हैं, जुड़े हैं, अलग नहीं कर सकते. हम देख नहीं सकते लेकिन हम अलग भी नहीं कर सकते. We cannot see them, but we cannot separate them. We cannot pick and choose our karmas. We cannot say, I don't like this, therefore let me throw it out. You have no control over them. These are the karmas. Deha adi. When he says Deha adi, arambhakatvena, they are the ones that cause this initiation of the Deha, and then adi, the cycle, and vyadhi and everything that comes with it, disease and parting and dukh and everything included in one word is samsar. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, and in each janma, our bhagya of our sukh and dukh, they come along with it. Why does he say it does not? The point here is still him. मेरे कर्म मुझसे नहीं जुड़ते. And the one who knows this will also get freed of his karma. That's the moolam, which Shankara and our all our acharyas will try and explain. First part I have said. I think if you tell me yes, I'll move to the second part. You've understood karam kaise chipakte hain. What do we mean by karmani limpanti? Karmani is plural, therefore limpanti is plural. Because our karmas are in plural. We do many karmas. So our karmas judte hain. So much clear?
Yes, Dipti.
Okay. कैसे जुड़, उसको क्यों नहीं जुड़े? भगवान से क्यों नहीं जुड़े? Though he has become the karta of this huge creation and not even just a few years, yugas and yugas, that much. Because he says, I am ahankara abhavat. And that's the clue. You can fit the whole perception in this if you're following. Or as you keep following, you will. Ahankara abhavat is the clue, is the answer. उसको क्यों नहीं चिपकते? भगवान को, why is God free of the fact that even though he's created this, he remains free of it? Even though there's so much sorrow and suffering, he still remains free of it. He is not affected. Affected is not in the mental sense. Affectation of the English word should be understood in the Shastra's context of lep lagana, smearing it. Karmas only smear us when they are done with a sense of ahankar. And ahankar makes us karta of the karma. Karta is a form of a name of an ahankar with reference to karma. With reference to karma, ahankar is called karta. With reference to bhogna, enjoying, experiencing, ahankar is called bhokta. So ahankara abhavat, he says, I have no ahankar. This is my creation. He says, I have no ahankar. I have done my creation. I have created, but it is not my creation. It is my creation from Vyavaharik sense. But paramarthically, I'm not the creator. There is no creation. But that's paramarthik. Ahankara abhavat. That's the clue. Nachatesham karmanam phale. And in those karmas, phala, me, mama, Mary, spriha, trishna, that yearning, na, I don't have that yearning for karma phal, which makes me do the karma with ahankar. And that is the catch of why a jiva gets caught in samsara. He's explaining in the next line. Yesham tu, showing the contrast. Tu word is showing the contrast from the previous sentence. Previous sentence addresses Ishvara, Bhagwan, Krishna. By saying tu, now he's addressing jiva. Tu, but indeed, the other one. Yesham, with reference to those others. Who are they? Samsarinam. Samsariyon ka. What is their abhiman? Iti abhiman. In this manner, they have an abhiman. In which manner? Aham karta. He's put it in quotes. Aham karta iti. That abhiman has got defined here. What is the definition of abhiman for the samsaris? Aham karta. I am the doer. Karmasu. उन कर्मों में वो अभिमान है. I am the doer of these actions. I have done this. I do this. That makes us a samsari. What is the seed of us becoming a samsari? Not seed. What is the reason for us being a samsari? Aham karta iti abhiman karmasu. Karmasu means in karmas that we do. Spriha cha tat phaleshu. We also have spriha for those respective phal. Tan karmani limpanti. Those karmas therefore smear us. Iti yuktam is only logical. Iti yuktam. वही होगा ना फिर जब हम कर्ता बन के कर्म कर रहे हैं for a spriha for a fruit, then we will only be united to that fruit. That's only logical. Tat abhavat, not having that ahankar, is namam karmani limpanti iti evam यः अन्यः अपि माम् आत्मत्वेन अभिजानाति. Without the ahankar, tat abhavat. Aham karta abhavat. Abhavat means absence. Abhav hona. Nahi hona. Not there. What is not there? कर्मों में अहम कर्ता अभावः. Then whoever there is, he also, they also, yaha, whoever, mam atmatvena abhijanati, they know themselves atmatvena, अपने आप को जब भी ऐसा जानता है. कैसा जानता है? जैसे मैं जानता हूं अपने आप को, वैसे जो अपने आप को भी ऐसा जानता है, as I know myself, those who also know themselves as na aham karta na me karma phale spriha iti saha karma bhihi na badhyate. They will also not get bound by their karmas. That is Karma Yoga in a nutshell. That is why all the technique boils down to this. Doing what you're supposed to do means offering it to Ishvara means that is how Karma Yoga slowly reduces our kartapan, our ahankar, our ragadvesh. It slowly diminishes them. Whoever knows himself as na aham karta and having no spriha for karma phal, the effect of karma on their subtle body will be to the extent you see yourself as a karta and without phal, your subtle body will also not get attached to that karma that you have done. That is why they said do it for loka sangraha if you're a jnani, or do it nishkam for your chitta shuddhi. Tasyapi, for them also. Na dehadi arambhakani karmani bhavanti ityarthaha. For them also, unke liye bhi, these karmas will not become the cause of the beginning of a new life cycle for themselves. You'll start a new life cycle if actions are done with karma. It's a very beautiful technique. This is Nishkam Karma. It's something very extraordinary piece of information, knowledge. I call it information because without this information, there is no gati for us. This may take us long time to understand. That doesn't matter. But the fact is that this is the key. If I go on attempting to understand it, till I understand, I don't give it up. This is the key which opens the doorways to, as you would say in Hindi, Bhagavad Prapti. What is Bhagavad Prapti?
Moksha.
Moksha. However time it takes, principles are eternal. I may attempt to understand this lifetime. These principles will remain available in every life. As I said, the Ganges water, how many times we must have taken a dip if we've had the bhagyam of being born in this culture. And if we are interested in the Shastra, definitely. We have had the bhagyam of being born, and absolutely. So, clear? So this verse says, don't mistake me to be the karta, because there will be a flaw of karma, karta and bhoktritvam on me then, and I'll also become a limited being. Where is the Ishwarhood then? My Ishwaratvam will be reduced to becoming another individual. if I identify with my creation. And he says, by not identifying with my creation, not becoming one with my creation, I remain free of it. How do I not become one with the creation? I have no spriha, no result, no yearning for the result. And I just do my action as per the karma phal of everyone. The creation I have created is not because I wanted to create the creation. I have created the creation for you, jivas, to go through their karma cycle that they have initiated and hopefully gain moksha and become free of this cycle. Till then, I have to sustain creation because the jivas have karma phalas chipcode to them. So if I have a karma phal chipcode to me, Bhagwan has to give me the resources to go through that phal. Is it clear? Is it crystal clear? Is it hazy clear? Is it not clear?
No, it is getting little clearer. But the question is, Diptiji, so when you think like how the God thinks, you start becoming more like him. Like he says, I'm a karta, and he says you also should do like that and think like that. So does that mean
He
you
says,
become?
no, he says, when you do your karma, as I am not the karta of this karma. So he has done it like this. So when he says, you also think like this, who knows me like this, means here Shankara has clarified it to us, who knows himself to be the akarta also. That's the parallel.
So we are still looking at Gyan, this to still get to the step of having Jnana Buddhi and move towards that after doing the Chit Shuddhi.
Correct. So this is still in the realm of Chitta Shuddhi. Once you have that, the one who will also do the karma because you are a karta yourself. So your swabhav, your swarup is also a karta. Atma
Yes.
is a karta.
Right.
So when I do karma with this knowledge, then he says, that's what he's trying to say here.
Okay.
Shankara clears. Otherwise, it gives the doubt, like you have said. If you just read the Moolam, it will give us this doubt exactly what you have said. So, should I just do what he's saying as he says?
So basically, this whole thing is actually scary because all those activities that you do uh, without karma bhav, that means you are increasing your uh, bhoktapan, or you could say lives.
If you say it is scary, then it is jiva. But if you say, now I have knowledge which equips me, I am anyway been doing actions like that only with before also, no? वो तो चल ही रहा है. And where do I not have anugrah in life anyway? Bhagwan gives anugrah to everyone. But now I can be equipped because I know how to do it. So my attention, you look at your attention, where is it? Is it going to be on the fact that there are many karmas that I do not do as karam yoga, or is it to be on, even if I do one action as karam yoga, I am that much closer to becoming free of the cycle.
So you should try to get the feeling of empowerment.
Exactly. The knowledge is meant to empower us.
Right.
Because the fact is, it's only stated what we are going through. So when we recognize it initially, it gives us a little fear. But ना जानते हुए भी आपके साथ होना तो वही था. होना हम सबके साथ हो तो वही रहा है. That's what the ज्ञान is saying. हो तो तुम्हारे साथ ये रहा है. अब जान गए हो तो now you can improve upon it. And even knowing it is good enough.
No, I think there's a great motivation. If you're
हाँ,
doing 1/3
exactly.
to 10.
Exactly. Absolutely. And yes, you can use it as a good example. Mehndi on your palm. You can use it as that also. Absolutely. The color comes on. Yes. Yeah. It'll stay with you. But it'll have a limited scope then, because Mehndi will come out sometime. But within that limited scope, it's a good example also. You can take that. The example is of how Mehndi, when you apply it on your palms and it leaves that color instantly on your palm. So that's limpanti. You know, it'll absorb, it'll stay with you. That's how karmas are. In fact, it's so beautiful. I tell you, the minute you get this knowledge, anybody who's understood, has shraddha and has a desire to, why mumukshutvam keh lo usko, but a desire to do, instantly knows now. It's a life changing piece of anugraha by Ishwar. Because now I know how to convert, you know, those that zindagi ko badle kaise, if someone has to ask. That's why when people, so many people are, in the past at least, now I think it's different, but in the past people would say, come give a talk, come do this, you know, small. It's unless you have the depth of knowledge and understanding, one odd talk, वो तो कोई भी कर लेगा. You will still get that information from somewhere. But to have that whole perception is a different kind of a learning, which cannot be done in 1 or 2 days. Something like it has to be a continuous process of study, understanding, little dose, reflect, you forget, it gets repeated. That's how these classes actually can work to change a person's life. Because now my karmas, if I have understood what attitude bhav I'm supposed to have, every karma can be done like that. My God, what freedom! I don't even need moksha after that in a way, because that itself is so freeing. आपका अपना कर्तापन है जो आपको थकाता है, आपकी इच्छा आपको संसारी बनाती है. अगर ये दोनों को निकाल दिया तो I'm already a free.
Absolutely, total freedom.
Exactly. So we'll end here. We'll continue tomorrow. I think we have taken a little longer time. I'll just stop the class. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhave. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथ्वी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Recording stopped. Dhanyavad Dipti ji.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Dipti ji. Hari Om.
Hari Om ji.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hari
Hari Om. Dhanyavad. Thank you. Ending. Dhanyavad everyone. Dhanyavad.